guys, welcome back to another video, and today, well, we're kind of doing another Dino Cam Pack review. Since this is technically not a Dino Cam Pack, I probably shouldn't count it, but I am, since I was originally going to do, like, the, I think it's the Prehistoric Creatures Pack, the pack with, like, the mammoth and other mammals, but then I found this, and I was like, hey, I'm going to do this instead, since it's free, and also, it's Amazing Dinoworld 2 Dinosaurs, which is awesome. So, yeah, anyways, we're pretty much just going to be, doing a review on the Dino Cam. I mean, not Dino Cam. Amazing Dinoworld 2 AR website. And pretty much you can just do the AR of several different dinosaurs. Unfortunately, they are missing a lot of dinosaurs from the show. Unfortunately, they don't have Carnotaurus, which I'm really disappointed about. They also don't have Stegosaurus or Imperator or Saltasaurus or any of those. But they do have some of the other more memorable ones that they actually have. I'm just going to list all the ones that they have in the app, which I forgot to mention. This is free, by the way. They have TRex and Triceratops, which I'm not too interested from. Deinocheirus, which I'm interested, but it's also not a species from Amazing Dinoworld 2, even though it does appear in there. Same for azhdarcho. And then they have Ankylosaurus, which is pretty interesting to see. And they also have puertasaurus and baby Ptoasurus. They also have the Amazing Dinoworld Spinosaurus, and then my favorite creature in Amazing Dinoworld 2, maip thorax. They have it in here, and I'm just happy that this thing's in the AR app. And a little spoiler, it's my favorite creature in the pack. But anyways, let's jump into this pack review, and I do want to mention before I jump in, it's going to be a little bit different from Dino Cam Pack, since the feature works weird, and it's just kind of weird. Also, another thing, I recorded it a little bit weird, so some parts might be a little bit less, like a little bit lower quality, since for some reason my screen recorder recorded it weirdly. And, yeah, generally, this video is going to be a little bit different. For the most part, it should be similar to a Dino Cam Pack review, so just kind of consider this as kind of one. And also, another spoiler alert, this pack is totally worth it. Honestly, it could be the quality of the worst Dino Cam Pack and automatically already be worth it, in my opinion, since this is free. You don't have to pay for anything on this, so yeah, you actually don't even have to install anything either. It's pretty simple. I'll put a link in the description, or you can scan the QR code on the screen or on the thumbnail or whatever. Anyways, let's jump into this video. So, the first creature we have is baby Ptoasurus, and weird thing, you have to go all the way out to do the animation, so I'm just going to stick with one animation until we go to the next one, but generally the model of this thing looks great, and also the animations are very fluent, and the animation's pretty simple, but I think it's really nice. And yeah, we're going to be on this animation for a second, but yeah. Generally, I think the patterns on it are okay. Honestly, I think it's pretty solid, actually. Even though the Ptoasurus has kind of simple color scheme, I still think the color scheme works very well. And yeah, again, the animation's simple, just kind of stands up. But here's the other animation that's automatically, I think, makes this better than Dino Cam just for this animation right here. It's perfect. Honestly, I don't think there's anything else to say. Honestly, I just wish that this animation would have appeared in the show, which I think there's actually an alternate version of the show. So for all I know, this actually happens in the show for Amazing Dinoworld 2. And just not on the US version for some reason. Anyways, yeah, again, jokes aside, I think this is a fun animation. I kind of wish they actually put more animations like this in here, and maybe even in Dino Cam, which there are a few things that this thing actually does better than Dino Cam, and I will point those out when we get to them. But yeah. And I think that is it. I think we have actually one more baby animation, which this is the one for it being pet. And this animation also really good. Pretty simple. There's not much I can say about the baby Ptoasurus. There's also a lot of... Ptoasurus actually has the most animations, since not only does it has like 3 animations already, and then it already has the baby, has 3 other animations, so yeah. Well, technically it has 2 animations. There's a young variant as well, but basically this thing is the adult in my opinion, but I'll just count it as the 3rd animation. Anyway, baby's good. Probably give it like, I don't know, 8 out of 10. Here's the sub-adult, which I'll give probably like, I don't know, 7 out of 10. There's not really any animations. Also, I realized for some reason there's no sounds. I don't know if it's just the way I recorded it or my phone or something, or there's just no sounds in this, which I wish there were sounds, but yeah. Anyway, sub-adult's pretty okay. It's mainly ranked a little bit lower because the adult one looks way better in my opinion. But yeah, this is the young Ptoasurus, and yeah, again, I think I'll give it 7 stars. Not the best in the pack, but also definitely not the worst. It's also a really good creature. Just generally designed, since these models look pretty much identical to the ones in the actual show, with some slight edits, mainly on the feathered species, which I actually think the feathered species look a little bit better in here than on the Dino Cam. I think there's some issue with the Dino Cam ones, definitely, but I definitely think that the ones here look a bit better. But we're not on a feathered species, we're on Ptoasurus. Here's the other animation for Ptoasurus, which is it laying down, and it's actually nice that they have a laying down animation. Perhaps in Dino Day and Dino Cam, I actually do like how you can have different animations if you tap on different parts of the dinosaur instead of having to go all the way out, go back to the select screen to literally pick a different animation. But I think it would be cool if they had, if there was a way you could actually go and change the position of the dinosaur. For example, you could choose from like the regular position's already in, then like a standing one, and then maybe even a walking one. And then you can have it do several animations when doing those things. There also is a running Triceratops, which we'll get to in a minute, which is a little bit messed up, but anyways. Back to here, this is the adult one, which there's not much of a difference, but I think that the colorations are, there's a little bit more of a red color scheme to it. And this is actually supposed to be the main one from Amazing Dinoworld 2, which I just recently found out apparently the main maip and Ptoasurus actually have a name. The large maip, Megathorax's name is actually apparently Sky, and this Ptoasurus' name is Big. I don't know 100% this is like 100% true, but I read it on an article or something. But yeah, apparently this is Big. And I mean, I guess it's a fitting name, and also it apparently has, it actually also has a scar on one side of the face, and I think you can see it in the animation. But anyways, we're on the Ankylosaurus now. Ankylosaurus, honestly, was honestly compared to the other species, this one, no. Why did they do so little for Ankylosaurus? It gets literally one animation when every other creature has at least 2 animations, and it's just an eating animation. Doesn't even get a swinging animation. Wish Enkosaurus would have gotten maybe like 1 or 2 more animations, maybe just like a more neutral one, and then also one with swinging its tail. Alongside Darko getting into the pack, probably having similar or just the same animations as well. I think that could work. But yeah, for what it is, the model looks great. Actually, I believe it's more accurate than the Dino Dex one, but maybe I'll do a accuracy review of Amazing Dinoworld 2. If I do, then I'll compare it to the Dino Dex and Ankylosaurus. But I think at least the face for sure is definitely more accurate than the Dino Dex one, but I don't know about the rest of the body. It looks pretty accurate though. Possibly even more accurate. Colorations are a bit bland, which there's more colorations, but besides that, the Ankylosaurus is great. But again, wish it had more animations, and I don't know. Now we're on to Spinosaurus, and man, I love the swimming animation. And I wish on the Dino Day and Dino Cam, the animations for creatures that swim were like this. Instead of being in a big pool of water and they just kind of sit there, I wish that they would have floated like this, because honestly, it just works way better. It kind of looks ridiculous. It's hard to get any good-looking angles with aquatic creatures in the Dino Day and Dino Cam. But if they were to float like this and swim around, I think it would look so much better. And man, this Spinosaurus is so good, I think I have to give it an 8 out of 10. Maybe 8.5 out of 10. It's really good, the swimming animation. The other animation we'll get to in a second I don't think is as good. And also, just generally, the colorations of the Amazing Dinoworld Spinosaurus, I don't think they're horrible, but I would probably prefer a different color scheme. Here's the other animation for Spinosaurus. Why did we get this? I kind of wish that we would have just gotten a walking animation opposed to another swimming and placing animation. Like, honestly, I think it would have been better if we either had this one and then on addition just like a standing animation, or if we would have just gotten a standing animation instead of this one, since I guess I can understand why you'd want it staying in one place when swimming, but I kind of prefer the one where it actually swims around. It looks better. It'd be cool if you could switch back and forth between the swimming and walking animation, but again, Spinosaurus, I'd give an 8.5 out of 10. Pretty good, though I'm not the biggest fan of the colors, and also the second animation is not the best. Now we're on to the running Triceratops, which this is going to be really weird since it actually runs and moves, which I wish the Dino Day and Dino Cam worked like this. But I think this feature needs a little bit working out since it's a little bit buggy. Also, want to mention, sorry for the lower quality of this part again, recorded it kind of weirdly. But yeah, it's also like just doesn't want to go on the ground for some reason, it always is floating again. And it also just resets to the same spot, which I guess makes sense, but I, again, just feel like it works a little bit weird. And also not a big fan of the Amazing Dinoworld Triceratops, so, you know. Gonna have to give this one probably like a 4 out of 10, just mainly because I don't like the design, maybe even a 3. Here's the standing animation, which is solid enough. I mean, it works very well for what it needs to do. But again, not a big fan of the Amazing Dinoworld Triceratops, so that does make me want to remove some points for it. But for the animations, I think they're pretty solid. And for depicting the Amazing Dinoworld Triceratops, this is pretty much perfect, so yeah. Moving on to the next one, which is Bajadasaurus, and this is its animation where it's aggressive, and I actually do really like this animation. Also, really like the design of the Amazing Dinoworld Bajadasaurus. Only complaint I think I have is it might be a little bit too bulky in the body area, but besides that, pretty much perfect. Also, this animation is great. Kind of mimicking that scene that it has against the Belosaurs, which are reused from the original Amazing Dinoworld, which were Rugops then. But apparently in the revamped version, they're supposed to be Pycnonemosaurus. At least I read that somewhere. Even though they're the same model as Rugops, it doesn't make much sense. Again, we're talking about Bajadasaurus. Definitely, I have to give this one a 9.5 out of 10, possibly even a 10 out of 10. This one's pretty much perfect. And it has another animation as well. And that's this one. But it's just kind of relaxing, sitting there and eating a little bit of grass off the ground, which I think also just works very well. Colorations are kind of plain, but honestly, not really complaining since I think the patterns work really nicely on this guy. And yeah, just gonna scale it up a little bit here so you can kind of look a little bit more real sized. But again, I think the models are great, animations are pretty much perfect, looks pretty accurate, at least without doing too much research into Bajadasaurus. And yeah, again, 9 or even a 10 out of 10 creature in my opinion. Definitely recommend this guy. Not much else to say, I'm kind of just rambling here since these segments are either way too long or way too short for what I have to say. Anyways, here is my favorite creature, Maip Megathorax, or just Maip. And yeah, this first animation here I think is great, and the second animation I have a little bit of complaints with, but when it comes to the actual model, it's perfect to the one in the show. And I absolutely love the Maip from the Amazing Dinoworld 2, so yeah. This is definitely a creature I really was looking forward to in this AR app. And yeah, generally its animations are really fluent. It's quadrupedal, which it doesn't show, but it doesn't run quadrupedally, but it'll lean down onto its forelimbs every once in a while. And yeah, I don't know how reasonable that is, but it does it a lot. Also the feather texturing, it's simple, yet at the same time gets the point across. The Dinocam feathers can look really bad at times, while on here, it again doesn't look perfect, but honestly it looks way better than they would have looked if it was on Dinocam. But yeah, generally this thing is awesome. Definitely a 10 out of 10 species. I can't even say anything else. And is this the other animation? I cannot. Oh yeah, this is the other animation, the attack animation. Which first thing, I really wish we would have gotten a bipedal animation instead of another quadrupedal one. But yeah, for this animation, it's pretty cool, but then I don't know what it's doing. I think it's supposed to represent it being attacked back, but it's kind of weird, especially since there's nothing else there. So it just kind of like goes from a swipe to standing up as if it just got like, I don't know, hit with like an explosion or something. Really weird, but yeah. I think it would have been cool to see how a swipe and then maybe leap up into the air and pounce on, like pretend to pounce on something. I think that would have been a little bit cooler for if they wanted to do something like this. Also, I wish that it was bipedal. Again, since, you know, Maip is actually a bipedal animal, just sometimes it leans down onto its forelimbs. Again, probably a 10 out of 10 creature in my opinion, my absolute favorite. Anyways, moving on to the next one, which is azhdarcho, which, again, I don't think azhdarcho actually fits the right time or place for Amazing Dinoworld 2, especially. I think it should have been Argentina Draco. But azhdarcho, I believe, is actually what it is, since that's what it was in the original. Or unless they're changing the name of it, like they did with the Rugops. But yeah, generally, I think the flying animation, I also wish the Dinocam flying creatures would have been like this, where they actually just float in the air, instead of being around a little base, which I guess is cool for some animation, but I wish that was optional instead of like a mandatory thing for the flying creature to even be used. But yeah, generally, looks great. Flying animation, and then we have the standing animation. I wish it actually would have stood more like how Ptoasurus would have actually stood instead of just kind of being flopped on the ground. Otherwise, it's pretty okay. Pretty solid. Definitely have to give, I don't know, probably like a 8 out of 10. Pretty solid, and I actually have to definitely went with azhdarcho instead of going with the kind of weirdly proportioned Quetzalcoatlus, which I believe it's Quetzalcoatlus in Amazing Dinoworld. But yeah, I prefer this azhdarcho much more over that. And again, probably have to give an 8 out of 10. But I believe we'll be moving on to the next one, which is the T-Rex. Not a big fan of the Amazing Dinoworld T-Rex design, but for depicting it in the AR app, I think it's actually pretty much perfect. The animations are also done very fluently as well. And, well, okay, for rating this as a depiction of the Amazing Dinoworld T-Rex, I have to give, especially this animation, probably an 8 out of 10. Pretty much perfect. Well, on the other hand, for ranking it just in general, I kind of have to give this a 6 out of 10. Not a big fan of the design, that's my only big issue with it. Otherwise, it is pretty much perfect. So, yeah, it also has this other animation where it's roaring, which also really good. Probably the same rating I just said with the other one. Also really good, probably like around 8 out of 10. Or 5 out of 10 if you're just rating it on my personal preference. But as a depiction of the Amazing Dinoworld T-Rex, pretty much perfect. So, yeah, again, also, I don't know why there's no sounds, but I guess there just isn't any sounds for this, but, yeah, kind of weird. Also, since I guess I have a little bit of free time before we move on to the next species, the way you unlock different animations is weird. You just kind of pick them, you kind of have to, I don't really know, you kind of just get them picked, you click a button and it gives you them random, but we're moving on to Deinocheirus quickly, just going to finish this. They give you random, and you pretty much got to keep on doing that until you get all the animations. Don't have to pay or anything, just gotta click that bunch of times and you eventually get all the animations. But anyways, talking about deinocheirus, I think that this thing is really good. Perfect for an amazing Dinoworld deinocheirus. Feathers are great. The only place where the feathers are actually kind of questionable are on the head, and that's only where they actually connect to the head. They look a little bit off at times. But besides that, it works great. The animation is pretty simple. And I think it would have been cool if we would have gotten one that looked like the mating dance we kind of saw for them. That would have been really cool, or even an attacking animation with it swatting its claws. But besides that, this animation is pretty solid. And the other animation I think is also cool, which is this one, which is the sleeping animation. Pretty solid, but again, I think it would have been cool to get a little bit more of an active animation as well. But the sleeping animation is great, and again, I hope that in the future of Dino Dan Dino Cam, we can get animations like this. But yeah, not much to say about this one. I actually don't know if this one's actually moving or we're just laying there. But yeah. So, now we're going to be moving on to this end part, which I just have I usually would just go through each creature whenever I do the Dino Cam, like kind of end part, but I'm not doing that since that'd be really complicated to do for no reason. But anyways, generally, my final thoughts, this is a 10 out of 10 pack. This is, even if this was an amazing, even if this is Dino Dan Dino Cam, I'd probably give it 10 out of 10, or maybe bump it down a little bit since it's lacking some of the really iconic species such as Carnotaurus, Saltosaurus, and Imperabator, and Stegosaurus. If it had those, then it would definitely be 10 out of 10. But if I had to deduct some points somewhere, I'd probably give this pack, I don't know, maybe like an 8 or a 7 out of 10. But definitely, for it being free automatically, 10 out of 10, definitely recommend you get. Link in the description, and you can scan the QR code on the cover of this video. And yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and goodbye!